This week, as families scramble to find baby formula, Speaker Pelosi's House decided to add special new perks for Washington lawmakers and staff. One of those perks was a VIP membership to Peloton gyms, paid for by hard-working American taxpayers. Redundant. Members and staff already have access to a congressional gym for a membership fee. The Peloton perk does not replace it. Instead, it duplicates it. What's next? Free Jenny ice cream? You may be asking, what's Peloton? It's a bike that costs about $2,000. Not only that, each month you pay a monthly subscription fee to ride your $2,000 bike. And best of all, it's stationary. And they charge you about $300 to set it up. So it's a $2,000 bike that you pay to use and pay to set up that doesn't go anywhere. Now, Speaker Pelosi decided to give everyone in Congress a Peloton gym membership. More specifically, the Premier Employees Benefits Package. And you know what? She did it without any debate or discussion with any Republicans. First, they appoint a political committee and don't allow the Republicans to name anybody. Now, they decide to use your taxpayer money with never talking to the other side. Taxpayers will pay Peloton $10,000 up front and $10 per month per person. In all, this contract costs taxpayers an extra $100,000 or more per month. I guess New York City isn't the only place Speaker Pelosi went on a spending spree last week. As the sixth richest member of Congress, the Speaker might not be worried about this costly new program. But American families should sweat it. It comes as families are getting crushed by the worst inflation in 40 years. It is insane. I'd like to see any Democrat go to their district, my district, anyone else's district, and defend this. Look people straight in the face. Because I'll tell you what's happening in our district. There are parents who are going to 8 or 9 stores looking for baby formula, paying for gas that you can barely afford. But instead of trying to help these struggling families, Democrats are plundering their pocketbooks to pay for Pelosi's Peloton membership. You can't imagine a more out-of-touch party. And this isn't just an exception. It's the rule in the Democratic Conference. Let me tell you something. You know, Mr. Speaker, I actually heard your conference chair, Jefferies, say, talking about the Democrat agenda and saying about gas prices, that issue hasn't come up in our conference. But it's come up in every single American's kitchen table, but not in the Democrat conference.
Gas prices likely increase. What is the thinking within your caucus about how to deal with that issue specifically?
Yeah, that issue hasn't come up, but I think increasing the global oil supply.
So in the Democrat conference, nobody talks about gas prices because they haven't heard about it. The polling says inflation doesn't come up. And yet, as we speak, Democrats are pushing for more reckless spending and higher taxes that will only make this problem worse. Mr. Speaker, I remember sitting on this floor, talking in this mic, warning the majority party, the Democrats, if they went through with the reckless spending of almost $2 trillion, inflation would come. The sad part, Mr. Speaker, it wasn't just the Republicans warning you. It was Democrats, those that had worked in the Obama administration, in the Biden administration. And lo and behold, what have we found? Inflation. They first want to tell America, no, it's just temporary. No, it's not. We now have the former ex-Fed chair saying you're going to get stagflation, just like in the 70s. Remember the late 70s? When you couldn't get gas on an even day if your license plate ended in an odd number? Now you don't even know if you can afford it when you pull up. You don't know if your credit card goes high enough. You don't know if you have enough money to go. But you're filling it up because you're trying to find baby formula that administration knew about for a year and did nothing about.
Americans are now spending $5,000 a year on gasoline. That's almost double what they did a year ago. Where are people supposed to go to get all that extra cash?
to get the extra cash to pay for gas.
Yeah?
Well, I mean, one of the things that we've been very clear about is to do everything in our power to make sure that we lower costs.
You know what the rise in gas prices, with this one party, one rule, what they have done to America? It's costing every family more than $2,000. The rising prices are costing them an extra $5,000. And now what do they want to do? They want to lift Title 42. And it's not just Republicans warning them, it's Democrats who sat as secretaries of Homeland Security warning them not to do it. I don't know if it thinks they'll take the attention away from no baby formula, can't afford gas, inflation continuing to rise, but they think they're doing all right. We should reward staff. Get them a Peloton membership. Don't just get them any membership, get them the VIP. Because they think it doesn't cost you anything because they take it to the American taxpayer, the hardworking taxpayer, to spend more of your money, just like they did with $2 trillion. Just like they wanted to do more with their Build Back Better. Have they not learned enough? But if you go to their conferences, I'm not sure what they talk about. Because they say they don't bring up the gas price. They say inflation doesn't fill up in the polls. They're probably looking at more perks of turning more tax dollars. But that day is ending soon. And a new Congress, the focus is on the American people, and the future of America is soon to come. It's an open secret that Americans are facing serious challenges today. Many of these challenges are Washington inflicted, caused by Democrats' incompetence and radicalism. Absolute chaos on the southern border, record high gas prices and rising inflation, and of course, a baby formula shortage they knew about for more than a year. Will this Congress be remembered as a Congress that addressed these issues? Probably not. Instead, this Congress will go down in history as the out-of-touch Congress.